I walked into my house only to find my ex-wife dead on my bed. Before I could even process what was happening, the cops showed up and I was caught red-handed. I tried to explain, but they wouldn't give me a chance. That's when it hit me. I'd been set up. I played along, pretending to cooperate. And just as I managed to defuse the immediate situation, I heard other officers outside. I climbed out the window and made it to the first floor as sirens started wailing. I knew this neighborhood like the back of my hand, so I kept hopping over fences, then bolted straight into a house, made my way up to the second floor with ease, and climbed through the window, down to the underground garage. I deliberately tossed the gun aside and slipped into the underground tunnels, through a hidden compartment under a car. By the time the officers arrived, I'd vanished into thin air. Meanwhile, Detective Dozler, who was in charge of the case, arrived at the crime scene. He didn't find any suspicious leads except for a donut I'd left behind. The kicker? It was still warm. He then headed to the garage where I'd disappeared and noticed fingerprints on a truck. He had a hunch, and sure enough, when he opened it, there was the hidden compartment leading to the tunnels. I made my way to my secret base from my days as an agent and pulled out parts from various corners, assembling them into a handgun. Then I went to the morgue and pulled out my wife's body. Looking at her cold form, I fell into deep thought, unable to shake the heavy feeling in my chest. I pulled out one of her hairs and slid her back in. Next, I headed to the garage, planning to copy the GPS data from my wife's sports car. Just then, the cops showed up at the garage too. But I finished just seconds before they arrived. When I checked the GPS data, the last place my wife had been was a deserted gas station in the middle of nowhere. That definitely raised some red flags. First thing the next morning, I pulled out a fake police badge and asked the attendant if he'd seen the woman in the photo. He said he wasn't working that day, so I headed to the security room and pulled up the gas station surveillance footage. Reviewing the playback, I found something suspicious. Just as I'd suspected, my wife had been abducted from the gas station. Right then, two officers, following the GPS data, tracked down the gas station too. When they showed the photo to the attendant, he looked annoyed. Then the officers showed him my photo, confirming I was there, and immediately drew their weapons and headed for the security room.
Freeze! Mr. Mills? Freeze! Step out, buddy! Step out! Freeze!
I knew it was too late to run. I had to figure out who'd taken my wife. I zoomed in on the crucial frame, then raised my hands and surrendered. I was put in the police car and the officer called Dozler. When he heard his men had caught me, he was shocked and immediately told them to stop the car. But the officers dismissed him, thinking their boss was just spooked by my file.
He acts like I've never done this before.
He's just being Dotzler.
No, you know what it is? He's a control freak. If he's not doing it himself, he's not happy.
They were feeling pretty smug, not realizing I'd already pulled a wire from my watch and was quietly picking the handcuffs. I moved fast, grabbed the passenger officer's gun, and shoved him out of the car. Then I got in the passenger seat and forced the driver to keep going. His partner still didn't know what was happening, so he just kept driving forward. Then I steered the car into oncoming traffic, causing a crash to block the police pursuit. In the end, I got away clean.